Hello everyone, it's Samantha here of Samantha Sutherland Art and Books, and welcome to another Poetry Thursday. And I'm sorry it's a bit late in the uploading today, but I've been a little bit busy. We've had a weird pick-up day with our daughter because of the snow. She got picked up early, and also I haven't long since finished watching Les Miserables, which actually must have had a grump on when I watched it because I thoroughly enjoyed it this time. That is a review for a different video, which hopefully may come tomorrow, Friday, or next week now, because my daughter might be off tomorrow because of the snow. We'll see. Most of my poetry accident buying books have all arrived. That doesn't make sense, but I've bought a few poetry books over the last week and a bit. I'm waiting for two. One's a Jean Valentine book, and the other one is a Korean to English translation, which I accidentally maybe bought this afternoon. Totally not my fault. None of them were my fault. It was all a complete accident. But I've been reading James Schuyler, and I'm absolutely loving these poems. Now, excuse my obvious tiredness. I'm quite fatigued today. I've been battling brain fog all week, which is why I'm taking my time with this book. And also, like I said, I've just finished watching Les Mis, and I have never cried so much watching a musical in my life. Oh, it was amazing. Anyway, again, that's for another video. So yes, I won't be reading from this book yet. I will be in the future. Just not tonight. Who am I reading this week? She's a Scottish-born poet and playwright. She was the Poet Laureate. She came after Andrew Motion, I believe. She lives in Manchester, and she works, or she's professor at Manchester Metropolitan University, which is the uni I studied at many, many years ago for art history. I am talking about Carol Ann Duffy, and I've taken two poems from two books that are part of this particular poetry book. The first one is from, I think it's Standing Female Nude, maybe? And Other Country, I think that other one is called. Standing Female Nude is one of them. And the other one, I think it is, I can't remember off the top of my head, I do apologise. The other one will be The Other Country, that was published in 1990. But this book contains poems selected from Standing Female Nude, published in 1985, Selling Manhattan, published in 1987, The Other Country, published in 1990, Meantime, published in 1993, and The World's Wife, which was published in 1999. And like I said, I'm going to be reading from Standing Female Nude and Other Country. So before I do, who is Carol Ann Duffy? Well, Dame Carol Ann Duffy was born on the 23rd of December in 1955. As I said, she's a Scottish poet and playwright, and she's Professor of Contemporary Poetry at Manchester Metropolitan University. She was appointed Poet Laureate in May 2009, and her term expired in 2019. She was the first female Poet Laureate in 400 years. She was the first Scottish-born poet and the first openly lesbian poet to hold the Poet Laureate position. Her collections include, as I've already mentioned, Standing Female, which was the winner of the Scottish Arts Council Book Award, Selling Manhattan, I have already mentioned as well, which is the Somerset Maugham Award. Meantime, again, I mentioned, which won the Whitbread Poetry Award, Rapture, which was published in 2005, and that won the T.S. Eliot Prize. Her poems address issues such as oppression, gender, and violence in an accessible language. She was born into a Roman Catholic family in the Gorbals, which is considered apparently a poor part of Glasgow. She was the daughter of Mary and Frank Duffy. She moved to Stafford, England when she was 6 years old, and then she obviously ended up coming to Manchester. She was raised in her parents' Roman Catholic faith, which is quite obvious when you read some of her poetry. She did become an atheist at age 15, but she has spoken of her influence of her religious upbringing by saying that that poetry and prayer are very similar. This first poem, it's based on a painting, which I will place somewhere here because it's an interesting painting. It's not my cup of tea. Not something that I'm not a big fan of the artist, to be honest. It's a a piece of art by Max Ernst, and the painting is called "The Virgin Punishing the Infant," and that's the name of the poem. So she was inspired to write this poem after looking at the painting "The Virgin Punishing the Infant," which I will put hopefully here, and yeah, it's interesting. He spoke early, not the goo 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 of infancy, but I am God. Joseph kept away, carving himself a silent Pinocchio out in the workshed. He said he was a simple man and he hadn't dreamed of this. She grew anxious in that second year, would stare at stars saying, "Gabriel, Gabriel, your guess." The village gossiped in the sun. The child was solitary. His wide and solemn eyes could fill your head. After he walked, our normal children crawled. Our wives were first resentful, then superior. Mary's child would bring her sorrow. Better far to have a son who gurgled nonsense at your breast. Goo goo, goo goo, but I am God. We heard him through the window, heard the smacks which made us peep. What we saw was commonplace enough, but afterwards we wondered why the infant did not cry and why the mother did. So that is a poem based on and inspired by the painting of the same name by Max Ernst. I should have looked up Max Ernst, really, shouldn't I? So I could have given you a bit of information. What I'll do is I'll find a link to the painting, which will give you a little bit more information. So the next one, which is from the other country, I think it is. Did I say that? Yes, The Other Country, which was published in 1990, and it's called The Way My Mother Speaks. I say her phrases to myself in my head or under the shallows of my breath, restful shapes moving. The day and ever, the day and ever. The train this slow evening goes down England, browsing for the right sky, two blues swapped for a cool grey. For miles I have been saying, what like is it? The way I say things when I think. Nothing is silent. Nothing is not silent. What like is it? Only tonight I am happy and sad like a child who stood at the end of summer and dipped a net in a green, erotic pond. The day and ever? The day and ever? I am homesick, free, in love with the way my mother speaks. I just thought it was a really beautiful poem, and I was thinking of my mum as well. She passed away about 4 years ago, and I suppose I sometimes catch myself saying things and thinking, my mum would say it like that, and it kind of got me to thinking about that poem, and I thought that was kind of perfect, because it's just, it's one of those things, isn't it? When you catch yourself saying certain things and you think a member of your family once said it, so yeah, that's why I chose that particular poem. Anyway, thank you very much for spending a little bit of time with me today. I hope you enjoyed those two poems. Again, as I always say, if there's anyone that you like or you think I should look up, please leave recommendations for me. I may not comment straight away, but I will always see your comments under the video, and I will put a link to things like this book, if you can find a copy where you can get one at a decent price. And also I will look up Max Ernst, and like I said, I will add the picture along with the poem that I read before the one I've just read. So from me this evening, that's me finished, and I hope you enjoyed those two. I will see you next time for hopefully a video with a haul, because I have bought 1 or 2 books and I have things to show. So until then, hopefully it'll be, like I said, Friday, but it might actually now be after the weekend. We'll see. Again, thank you for spending time with me. You can find me on Facebook and on Instagram, as well as Goodreads. And as always, happy reading, stay warm, stay cozy, especially if it's been snowing where you are. And I hope you are enjoying whatever you're reading, and I will see you very soon. I'm going to go get a nice warm cup of tea, well, hot cup of tea now, because my tea's gone cold. I will see you very soon. Have a lovely evening, and if I don't see you before, have a lovely weekend. and I will see you next week at least, hopefully, fingers crossed. Until then, I will see you later. So, bye everyone. Like I said, stay warm, stay cozy, happy reading. Bye bye everyone.